Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for everybody joining us today. And look, we got Alban here with us.
Hey!
So nice to see everybody. I know we missed last week. We had a lot going on. I was crazy schedule at work. I know Blue had some other stuff going on, so we pushed back the week, and we almost
tried to kill me.
Almost took Alban out because changed his routine. You know how old people get in their routines. They like their routines, and we messed him up. So let me see who's we got Reds in the chat over there. Eddie, nice to see you, of course. We got Roger, who's in on the panel since one of his movies is this week. Flick Chick, thanks for joining us. Who else? We got Soheil. Thank you for joining us. Brian, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we get to talk about. We can hit on some of the movies that you were thinking about watching. We got the Beach, Mark. So you guys, thanks for watching and thanks for joining in. How is everybody on the panels? Ladies first, as she's blowing out her thing.
I'm good.
I did it on purpose. Alban, how are you doing, sir?
I'm alive. I just got back home maybe at about 4 o'clock New York time. Happy
Which
to
is
be home.
An hour ago.
An hour ago. Couldn't miss the show. I did everything possible in the hospital to get out to make the show. I said, screw you. I have my pop show. So I'm here. I missed all of you guys. I'm so happy and thankful to be here. I want to thank everyone for their well wishes. So it turns out that I'm having a shortness of breath. It's because the lung is taking it in, the blood takes it in, but it doesn't carry over enough oxygen for me to basically breathe out. So that's what's been giving me the shortness of breath. But I'll be okay. I gotta just find a new pulmonary guy, and hopefully I'll live. But I will. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you could see Andrew would have probably. You could tell he's so dedicated. He would have rushed himself out of the hospital to make sure he made this show.
Yeah, of course he would have. Yeah,
you could tell when he said an hour.
As
soon as you said just an hour ago, he's like, "What?" Yeah, dedication.
New Yorkers are dedicated.
Yeah, you can't stop them, New Yorkers. Roger, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well today. I hope everybody had a good couple of weeks off there. Missed you all. Glad to be back.
Well, thanks for joining us. Andrew, how was your 2 weeks?
Good. I've had 2 weeks to watch 3 movies, and I watched 2 of them today. And I watched the other one yesterday. So.
Oh gosh.
Okay. All right. Well, at least we got. At least we'll have some people to be able because we'll get to talking about what movies that people have seen and what movies that people were able to miss or happen to miss. So, we give. It's kind of like teachers. You remember in school when your teacher would give you extra time to take care of your assignments, and you still didn't get your assignments done. I think that's what this was. We gave everybody extra week. It's still falling short. I mean, Alban, you're only in the hospital. You could have got this homework done. Come on. Priority.
Listen. I tried using my Plex, but trying to watch a good movie on your phone really sucks. I just can't do it. I'm used to just watching everything on a big screen and kicking back and enjoying a movie.
You said a good.
Don't do it for me.
You said a good movie, so that's up for question right now because we haven't decided if these were good movies yet.
Well, anything would have been good compared to what is on normal TV with commercials. You know what I mean?
I have no problem watching stuff on my phone. I actually watched usually TV series in the morning in the shower.
Okay.
On my phone. To pass the time.
Well, I have weird, more time than you, I guess.
Waterproof. Yeah, taking advantage of it.
So
I watch all these movies on my phone. Everything.
Oh my god, I can't.
Well, and I got to say this about Andrew. Andrew used to do all of his builds. Didn't you do all the builds and all that stuff on your phone?
Oh, I did a couple on my phone. Yeah.
Holy jeez.
And I remember you used to do the stuff for in Bob.
I did all everything that we tested when we did the Bob add-on. I did all that on my phone.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And all the rest. Yeah,
there's just no fucking way.
It was a flip phone.
It was a Nokia 30. It was a Nokia 3210.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, Cam, Mark, have I heard of the new show called It's Pretty Wild? It's Pretty Wild. No, I haven't heard of that one.
I'm stoked because The Mandalorian's Friday night.
Yeah, I keep getting notifications every day. It's 3 days away. It's 2 days away. I can't wait. I'm weekend off this week as well, so I'm gonna binge watch that.
Oh, you off? Maybe you could watch.
No, I'll have Mandalorian to watch. I haven't got time for it.
But there's only one episode because you only can watch one episode a week because they don't release them all.
Yeah, but we've had 2 weeks to watch 3 movies, Todd, and I've watched all 3 of them in 2 days. So,
well, so we need to give you less time. You see, you're just off. You have too much time.
Take us the whole weekend to watch one episode, I think.
I'm brutal.
Okay.
So we've got The Wrestler, Jerk, and Unhinged, which Unhinged, we added that. Hopefully you guys were able to see that we posted in Twitter and posted in the Telegram group. And that's why you should be in the Telegram group, because if you're in the Player Pass Telegram group, you would see that you would have got the notification early on Wednesday that we weren't going to have a show. And then we added consensus. We gave it for a vote and everyone says, yeah, let's do an extra movie. We got time.
That was stupid.
We got time.
Really stupid. I never watched it.
Yeah, we got time. We'll watch
I felt bad because I'm like, everybody else had watched it and I hadn't yet. And then we canceled. And so I was like, hey, here's another movie to watch without thinking about the fact that I was supposed to watch it too.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she's willing to give out the homework to other people.
Give it out.
Whoa, right? wait, I've got to do that too.
Yeah.
You didn't watch Unhinged, Blue?
No.
Oh.
You guys are going to tell me when you find out today exactly what I didn't watch.
Okay, all right. Well, that's all right. So we got. We'll start with the two movies that we did first. And for anybody that's not watched this show before, you could put your comments in on the chat if you're watching from Facebook. I would suggest go to my YouTube page, The Butcher Builds, and maybe when someone else is talking, I'll try to throw the link in on my Facebook, and you can come to this. So you're able to chat with us live. We're able to see that, and we're able to put your comments. So if you've seen the movies and you'd like to comment, you can post your comments. We'll put them on the screen where people can see while the panel is talking. If you'd like to join the show, once the panel, the 5 of us have talked about the movie, we put the link out for anybody to join, and you can join. The one key is that you have to have watched the movie and have some type of opinion on the movie. And it's best. So, let's see.
Get out.
Yeah. She has to. We'll put her on mute on one part of it. When we talk about it,
don't worry. I'm not going to be speaking about it if I haven't watched it.
Okay, so that's how this show goes. And Eddie says he needs to see Aubyn's shirt.
Oh Jesus!
Surprised he didn't have his hospital dress on.
Oh my God, that would have been funny.
I was gonna actually bring it home and then this way wear that for you guys to let the teacher know that I was in the hospital,
And go like, look, I just got out.
Had to escape. Couldn't even get my clothes.
It's one of those ones what like attaches at the back, and he's like, "Oh, I've just got to turn around and get something."
So it's always good. Great to have everybody here. It's great to have another week, and we're going to talk about the 3 movies this week. We're going to see what you guys think, play or pass for any of these movies. So we have Roger picked the jerk, and I picked the wrestler. Roger, would you like to be first, or would you want me to go first?
I can go. We can talk about the jerk first, but I'd like to talk about it last, so you guys can start.
Okay, all right, sounds fair enough. Fair enough. So we're going to start with the jerk, Steve Martin, and hold on, let me pull that tab up for you guys so we can see that. All right, so that's showing up. Yes, it is. Okay.
Spoiler.
Well, thank you. Yep. I've got that ready right here. Banner. Hold on. Pop that banner up. Show we go.
1979. My God.
Yeah.
Were you
1979.
It's
So
funny,
I was,
you know what?
I was born in 84.
No way. Oh my God.
Yeah, baby. The first thing I thought about when I watched this movie, though, is that I realized, oh my God, this movie is so old, and I thought, and Steve Martin's already gray then.
Yeah, right.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, who would like to be first? Blue, do you want to be first since you're already talking about Steve Martin Gray, or do you want somebody else to go?
I usually go first, so I'll let somebody else go first.
I'll go.
Yeah,
I
go.
normally go first, so I'll go.
Yeah, you normally go first. He's not scared.
Nope. Oh, the jerk. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. I said it, when Roger picked this movie. You all heard me screaming. I'm like, oh, I love it because this movie is classic, definite classic. Carl Reiner is, he's everything.
We just lost him this year, eh? Not too long ago.
Yeah.
Right
That's what happens on this show.
Yeah.
If we notice,
I
we'll always have like a great movie, a great director, or something. Oh well, yeah, we just lost him this year, and so
Carl Reiner and his son Rob both make great movies.
Yeah. How this movie starts. I was born a poor black child. Right there from the start. Seeing Steve Martin, Mabel King. Oh my God, she's just wonderful. I loved her to death. When I love when he because when he's first out there trying to dance on that thing that he has no rhythm, and then when he finally gets his rhythm by listening to the swing music in his room, and he's like got swing and is able to dance. This movie is just a great the dog shithead. I love this movie. What there was something else. Man, I can't remember right now. There's so many things. The juggling cats. I could go on forever. I don't want to be the one to take up all the great points on this movie from everyone, but just from each picture that Dad is going across there, it's just there's always something to say, because it's such a classic, great movie. Bernadette Peters, boy, was she a great looker back then, but I love this movie. Okay, who's next? You want to go, Andrew? You there? Or Blue, you want to go? Okay.
I'll go. Andrew. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
I'll go. I've watched this movie. It had to be in the very early 80s. I want to say when HBO was just starting out. I for some reason I remember one of my friends had HBO and we were able to see it, and I found it to be real funny. Now, Bill Macy, what was he in?
What wasn't he in? He's one of
he was in Maude.
Maude. Yeah, that's where I remember him from. Maude. Yeah, Maude, which was a TV show back in the 70s.
Was that the chick from Golden Girls?
Yeah. He also.
Yeah. And in Maude. Yeah. And so yeah, it was had a lot of good funny parts, a lot of quotes. To be honest, it wasn't as funny as I remember it back in the day. Bernadette Peters, she was a looker. And I actually had to look up her height because I said she had to be like a midget. I said she had to be like so short. And then come to find out she's an inch taller than Blue. Because Blue's like, I don't know. I said she has to be like 5 foot or like 4'9" or something. Like really small.
5'3".
She goes, no, she's 5'3", taller than me. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe she went. But I found this movie to be funny, but not as funny as I remembered. There's so many quotes. Some of the stuff that I liked in this movie was remember the paper that showed the stolen credit cards? Do you guys remember that way back when you would give your credit card and they would swipe it in the machine? They'd shunk, 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 and then they could pull up the numbers that were stolen cards. It was like a book or it wasn't a newspaper. It was like a book.
Yeah.
And they would pull up the stolen credit cards. And when he pulled up that paper and he's like, oh, stolen credit card. That was like nostalgia for me. I'm like, I remember that. I forgot all about that. They had credit cards were in that little newspaper, that paper that would tell you it was stolen. That I cracked up at that. Mr. Bubbles. So when he was in the tub and that box, the pink box of Mr. Bubble. Now, Andrew don't probably remember Mr. Bubble.
He wouldn't know that. Nope.
I remember Mr. Bubble, the box, and me and my brother would fight about who got, because he'd be like, you used all the Mr. Bubbles. You used up all the Mr. Bubbles, which I wonder if it was that just laundry soap that they put in a pink box, and I'm thinking, shook it up. But the Mr. Bubbles cracked me up. The other thing was the wine in the coolers where he pulls the glass when they're outside when he's rich.
That is
and he pulls the wine glass out of the little dispenser like you do at a sports thing. Yeah. And it's big things of wine. It is like a cooler outside. I thought I cracked up at that. The Hispanic guys, some of those guys, I know them from something. Those guys have been in some other movies,
especially the guy driving.
Yeah, I was like, I meant to look him up because I remember they were in some stuff later on. Is it Pepe?
Punk number one, possibly.
Maybe. No.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
No.
That's the kid that was driving the car. He's just old now.
Really? Oh, he's
yeah, that's him.
What other
Scroll down and see what else he was in.
He was in Scarface. He was in Scarface. Hey, do you remember him? Do you remember him, Andrew? In Scarface. I forgot. No wonder that's where I recognize him from. I remember him from Scarface.
Right.
Because I've seen that.
He's one of those guys. He's like a character actor. You see him in all kinds of stuff. One of those.
So that was interesting. When I saw him, I was like, I know him from somewhere. I forgot to look it up. So that was some of the stuff that really kind of pulled me back. The jokes and stuff were okay for me, but it was more of the other stuff that I saw around that they had there that really made me remember back. So that was what I liked. The movie was good. I won't say it was great. Definitely not as funny as I remember it. I did love Mabel King, and I was like, "What's happening?"
What's happening?
I remember him from What's Happening, because what was she, DJ's mom or was she Rerun's mom?
She was Raj's mom.
Raj's mom. Because when I was looking, I was like, I know her from someplace, and so that was some of that stuff. Was for me, this movie was not so good for the comedy that I saw him doing. It was more for me seeing the stuff around him, the things that were everyday items.
Nostalgia.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what reminded me. So that was what I liked about that. So that's what my thoughts were on it.
Putting a coin in a phone and waiting for the change to drop out if you like you got a free call. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember having to do the fake call collect, and your mom would say call collect, but use this name, and then I'll decline it because I'll know that you're there safe. So we would use like, hey, do you accept a collect call from Charlie?
Yeah.
No, and she knew that I was at the mall. I made it. So yeah, those the old days.
Yep.
So that was some of my thoughts. Let's see. So Blue or
Andrew?
Okay, well, it's not going to be very long, I'm afraid. I only watched this one this morning, and I'm struggling to remember stuff from it because I don't know if it's because it's like I wasn't born around that time, or if, like it's like American. It's like quite a lot of Americanized jokes or what, but I didn't really find a lot of it funny. I found it like silly. I did like the story, but I couldn't really get into it because I just thought it was there was nothing that was making us laugh. The only thing that made us laugh was the paint can bit when he's getting shot at, and he's like, the cans are defective, and he's like, oh my god, he hates these cans, and then I've got to get away from these cans, and then he runs towards the Coke machine to go, oh, that's got cans in as well, and then he runs in the store and he stands behind a load of paint cans, and that's the only thing that like I audibly laughed at. Everything else I just was kind of those thing, like those jokes what make you kind of go and just like do a little. Aye, that was a little bit funny, but I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's like more like Americans would get it better than I did, or I don't know if I'm just like got no sense of humor or what. But just like I didn't like a lot of it. I just didn't get the jokes, and I didn't find a lot of it funny. But I didn't hate it, if that makes any sense. Like I didn't think it was a rubbish movie. I just didn't think it was going to be I didn't think it was as funny as I thought it was going to be. And I just like there's not many memorable things that stick out in my head. So sorry, Roger. I thought I was really going to like this one, but I feel like I might have seen it before because like when I got near the end of the movie, I could remember some of the scenes. Yeah, that dog.
Shithead.
What was it called? Shithead.
Originally Lifesaver.
Lifesaver.
It was gonna be.
There was
I did like it when he meets was she called Marie, when he meets her and she's like, have you seen a little boy with blonde hair and a t-shirt on that says bullshit? That was quite funny. But yeah, there's like there was only the odd little bits that I found funny, and I couldn't really get into it. I guess that's why. And I've got a really short rubbish memory anyway when it comes to remembering things, and if it doesn't stand out, then like I've just been sitting here thinking to myself, oh god, I need to think of something that I remember seeing in this movie that I thought was funny. But it just kind of passed us by, I think, unfortunately. Maybe I need to watch them earlier and maybe watch them 1 or 2 times. I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't think it was horrible. I just like there was nothing that grabbed us. And at the start, I kind of felt like I was going to turn it off, but I can't because I have to watch it all for this.
This dang show. Well, so, what got me? Yeah. What about when he got that other job? Because she had another job for him. It was a blowjob.
That's one of my favorite lines in the movie.
The look on his mom's face when they're reading that.
and Taj, his cool brother, his worldly brother, knows exactly what he's saying.
All right, me?
Yes.
I unfortunately didn't like it as much as I did back in the day. I was wanting to because I remember laughing my head off when I was young at this movie, but I don't know. Yeah, it was. I'm like Andrew. I just found it silly and not necessarily funny. Like there were a couple of funny parts, but not like I remember it. So I don't know if I've just changed. Oh, but Steve Martin was hard to watch for a while there in the beginning when he was especially the drunk part when he's the bum and he's talking like this, and it was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this whole movie like this because I forgot it. My favorite part of the movie was his family. and I just like the fact that it ends with them saving him. I thought that was pretty damn cute after everything he went through. But yeah, I didn't. I'd say it's rated a 7.2 on IMDb. Yeah, I don't know if I'd give it that now. Might give it
about 6.
Yeah, me too. I think for a 6. I mean, I remember though back in the day, this movie was fantastic. Like it was so funny. But I guess gotten so used to all these other comedies coming out, and yeah, I didn't like it as much as I did. Sorry, Roger.
I've seen him in like I feel like I've seen him in better things.
So, yeah,
that's why it's the first time I've seen this properly. So
yeah, he's a genius. And I told Todd he's one of the best banjo players in the world. Todd did not know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to play on Saturday Night Live. Mm-hmm. You know, that would.
Right.
And I kind of felt like when I was watching this, it reminded me a lot of the characters that he would play on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Was it based on one of them? No way.
No.
Go ahead.
So I'm trying to think. The first time I saw Steve Martin, I said met. I've never met him.
Did you watch any of them with the old cast with Bowie and all them, or not?
With what? Sorry.
With John Belushi.
That was big before his time.
Yeah.
Which one?
That's 70s. Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
He's talking about Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
No. I was on about the first movie I think I seen him in was Father of the Bride.
Oh, okay.
Or Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
I loved him in Parenthood.
Yeah. Trains, Planes was hilarious.
So should we let Roger go before we all start taking over?
Well, this is one of my movies that has a special place in my heart. It's not as funny as it was in the 80s, but
it brings me right back there.
I seriously, this is the very first movie that I owned on videotape, and I lived 70 miles away from a city that had a place where you could buy videotapes. So having a videotape when there was only 4 stations on TV, seriously, I've probably watched this movie over 100 times.
Yeah.
And I hadn't watched it in probably 5 or 6 years until I watched it this week. And I still laughed out loud 2 or 3 times. And I've known all these jokes. So I do think it's a funny movie. It is a silly movie. It's a stupid movie. But that was Steve Martin's whole thing at that time. Right before he released this movie, which he did write the screenplay for, he released a book of poetry, which called Cruel Shoes. And it is the craziest poetry that I'd ever read in my life. And I read it when I was about 15 or 16 years old. And I was like, God, this guy is deep. And Steve Martin is truly a deep thinking type of guy. There's just so many lines in this movie that I love. I agree with Andrew. I was born a poor black child is one of the funniest lines written in movies, I think.
Yep. Me too.
And then when Mabel King is explaining that they found him in a basket and raised him as their own, and he looks at her all upset. You mean I'm gonna stay this color?
Yeah, I did laugh at that one.
That's fucking comedy. That's funny, man. And like I said, his cool brother Taj, who you can tell has been out in the world off of their little farm, has a little more knowledge to the world than Nathan does. And the line when he brings him his birthday sandwich wrapped in cellophane, his tuna fish sandwich wrapped in cellophane, just like he likes it. How much more white guy think you get than that, you know?
Lots of mayo, you know.
Right.
Tab and Twinkies.
A tab and a Twinkie. You just don't get any more white bread than that. You just don't. And then when he sets out to find what's in the world, and he's gonna hitchhike to St. Louis, and he walks outside and he leaves when it's daylight, and they're sitting down for dinner, and everybody's worried about how Nathan's doing, and they yell out the window to check on him, you know. And his first ride takes him to the end of the fence. I mean, it's just the writing in the movie. I think if you read it and as opposed because most of the acting was atrocious, overacting. 1970s acting is all I can say it was. Acting has came a long way, but the writing in this movie is really, really good, I think. And if you hadn't never seen it before, I'm glad I made you watch it. I hope you laughed at least once. If you laughed once, then I'm a happy guy too. So I just like to make people smile and laugh.
And so who's this guy here? He was in a lot of stuff.
Well, you know his voice a lot. He was Jabberjaw, the cartoon Jabberjaw. When we were kids, Todd.
Yeah, I remember Jabberjaw. Yeah,
that's him. He's Jabberjaw.
But he used to play in a lot of other things too. And that was another guy that I was going to look up because it's like there's a lot of these characters that I remember.
I like how honest his character was. He was just like, "Yeah, this is my wife. She wouldn't be with us if I didn't have all the money, all the money and stuff."
And that's another funny scene. Nathan has no idea he's talking about sex when he's doing those hand signals. You know?
Yeah.
And Emmett Walsh, he was in a lot of stuff too. I remember him being in a lot of different things.
That guy's part was hilarious too. The serial killer / fucking private detective. Hilarious. I mean,
die guest bumper.
Die guest bumper.
Yeah, it's a stupid movie, but it's still 40 years later, and I've seen it 100 times. It'll still make me laugh out loud when I watch it.
I'm with you.
I did like when he said to the blonde with the curly hair. I like how he said, she's on about how her mother wanted to be with someone who had a special purpose, and he was like, "I've got a special purpose. your mother's gonna love me."
So, all right. Well, we got Sharon. Thank you for joining. We got Shrinking Sharon. We got Eddie, Penn, and then Cam is just joining us. We're going to start with Sharon. So, Sharon, The Jerk. Your thoughts on that? On the movie?
The Jerk. It was a pretty good movie. He was like I said, when he grew up, he was raised with when he first was there, it was funny. When it was around his birthday, and he was upset because he was different. And he started listening to that music, and he ended up leaving when he started getting that rhythm. So different music. And it made him want to go out in the world. And then, he got that first job at the gas station. And from then on, at the gas station, he was just excited. He was excited, living at that gas station, and there, it was kind of, them three guys came. That was kind of, he thought he really had them when he was calling the cops on them and gave them everything, and they were basically robbing them. And they're at the gas station, and so he caught himself holding them there while giving them everything. But at the same time, they did end up taking all this stuff, and he thought he was going to hold them by telling them that they won I forgot what he told them they won, but anyway, they ended up oven mitt, and they took the whole church with them when they drove off. That was a little funny.
Pretty much any 1967 blue Chevy pulling a church will probably be it.
Yep.
Exactly. They took the whole church, the whole wedding party with them. And that's where I just knew he was fired then. Then after that, he runs into the guy with the glasses. He tells the guy he could fix his glasses. They're at the gas station. And pretty much that's when he runs into the, as I say, serial killer / investigator. And the guy's basically trying to kill him. Yeah. So he's trying to protect his boss, which is funny. And his boss is telling him, "Just go, get away, leave." And after he leaves, and he ends up getting a job at the amusement park or whatever, and he of course runs into the other lady and everything, and when he's guessing the weight, and he does that job not right. He runs into the first wife and everything, and while he's with her, while he's with her, and like you said, he runs into the blonde hair lady when she babysitting the little boy.
Bernadette Peters.
Bernadette Peters, yes, he runs into Bernadette Peters when she's babysitting the little boy when he's runs away on the train. Yeah, on a little train, and he stops that and stuff, and then he falls for her, and he doesn't even know how to ask her for a date, but they end up going on a date. He falls for her, but he's afraid of the first lady. So yeah. So then they end up getting into it, her and the first lady, and needless to say, the other lady, the lady with the blonde hair, beats her up or whatever, and then they end up together, and they end up trying to make it, going on their own, and after the beach scene and everything, end up on their own, and then they can't, make it. They have the little dog, and she writes him basically a Dear John letter, and leaves him, and he's all sad and everything.
Well, it leaves him a Dear John letter that gets wet in the
so he can't even read it because he's in the tub. Yeah.
I mean, so Sharon, did you ever watch this, or was this the first time you ever seen it?
I had seen it one time before, but I couldn't remember a lot of it and stuff. It didn't really trigger that I had kind of saw it before until when it got to the tub part and she left him, and I was like, wait a minute. Wasn't he supposed to be rich? And then that's when the guy came who was a serial killer / investigator. With the glass, telling him about the glasses and stuff. But I thought he was supposed to be rich before then, and then he wins her back and gives the mom condoms with the money. Yeah. And of course but yeah, it was a pretty good movie. Pardon me?
So I was just wondering, because I mean, there's so many things that I remember, that to me, that was like a throwbacks. So I just wasn't sure if you'd seen this before.
I had seen it before. But like I said, I kind of remembered it, but not really until it got to the part, like I said, till it got to the part where he had, where she had left him. And I was like, wait a minute, wasn't he rich? So I was, and, so then, when the investigator came, and I was like, oh yeah, that's when he got rich, and then, but they did the switcheroo at the salon. And then they end up coming back.
Thank you.
Hello.
Sorry, my daughter came in here. Anyway, it was a pretty good movie. He ends up, they end up finding out about the glasses being faulty, and end up getting sued. Pardon me.
Well, that was kind of funny how they kind of twist around where that they didn't test it enough, and they didn't even test it on prisoners.
Exactly, made them all cross-eyed or cock-eyed.
So yeah, I mean, when I think about it, there was a lot of funny parts, and I mean, it does.
Yeah, but all the people was taking advantage, like that guy right there when he shows it. The poor people, like the cat fighting, and he decided to give him a bunch of money because he seen the cats fighting.
Cat juggling.
He was just cat juggling. Yeah,
cat
juggling. I'm sorry, cat juggling. And
which was
all
him.
The silly stuff. Right. Which was him.
Yeah.
But all the silly stuff they were coming in there, and he was giving money away for. That part kind of put me in the mind of Brewster's Millions a little bit. But yeah. And then they, made the disco there in the house and everything. But then they end up breaking up after that, and he's like, I don't need this. All I need is my chair. I don't need this. All I need is, he start grabbing a couple of items. Then he ends up where the movie begins at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Circle.
Yeah,
all he wanted was that thermos.
All he wanted was that thermos. Yeah. So it's a pretty good movie.
All right, Eddie, what you think, bud?
Well, I saw this movie before.
Yeah,
I found it really funny, but this time I'm agreeing with most of the people. It wasn't as funny as this last time I saw it. What I really liked about it was at the beginning when there was everybody sitting out on the porch in the house, and Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee were playing, And another thing, when he decided, when he's making the money, he got all the money. He says he's going to go back. He says, "Well, this is what I call home, and we're going to have to do something, make a new home." So he builds the same thing again.
Yeah, they said we're going to make it bigger or something. It didn't look any bigger.
Yeah, who was his boss in the garage? He's a comedian.
Jackie Mason. I looked it up. It was Jackie Mason. That's why I was like, I know that name.
That guy was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was Steve Martin. I can't say a big fan of Steve Martin, but this is like slapstick humor. Maybe I found it funnier in way back, but now I find it's like slapstick humor. But I'd recommend it. I'd play it.
Okay.
I'd play it.
All right. Let's see who we got. Yep. Thank you, sir. Professor Penn.
Yes. How everybody doing?
What was your thoughts? We're doing good. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, for sure. This was my first watch for this film, and I think it had a lot of goofy scenes in it, but some things that were actually educational as well. One of the key things that I learned about it was when he got the job at the gas station, things like that, and when he fixed the glasses, and I thought it was pretty cool because he had like this sort of goofy, sort of like not put together personality, but yeah, he was able to come up with a concept to fix someone's situation as far as like their eyesight, and I thought that was like a little bit of character building moment in the film because it showed that he can problem solve. As goofy as he was, he did have a sense of reality and things like that in the film. I thought overall that one of the lessons that I learned was that about family, because I know Blue mentioned that no matter what, family has your back. When you're down in the dumps or when you're lost, or even the clips in this movie where he was like homeless, out on the street, things like that. It taught that no matter what that you do in life, it's going to be somebody out there that's going to always have your back and it's going to pick you up so that you can recoup yourself and get things back together. So I thought it was like some life lessons in the movie, like him getting used to sort of like with women and asking they're out on a date and him struggling with that and him learning the ways of life. So I thought it was very educational overall.
Well, and the other thing is that he was sending money home. So when he got rich, I'm sure that's, they were investing that money. He said his dad was, investing in mutual funds or something like that. And that's how they had so much money after it was all said and done. Cam, what was your thoughts? Cam, are you there?
Cam.
I don't think she's.
Oh, hey everybody! Sorry about that. I was just having a conversation with my sister here. For me, but I was listening. Okay. Don't worry about it. For me, this movie was kind of It wasn't I've seen it before. It was like one of those movies you wonder if it has held up over the years and whatever and whatnot. For me, some of the parts did hold the comedic value, but other parts are like, okay, I don't understand why I felt this was funny when I first watched it, but all right, it's there. But for me, it's kind of still in a way kind of solid. If you haven't seen it, yeah, of course, go watch it. But if you have seen it, I don't really think you need to watch it again. I mean, if you're bored and it's on, go for it. I mean, but like, yeah, I don't know. The movie, it really just had me asking more questions. Like, how do people? I mean, I understand, like, us watching several movies about maybe 10, 20 times, but I'm like, how can people, like some people, watch, particularly, in my opinion, this movie at least more than twice?
Well,
But
you live a long ways from anything, and there's 3 TV stations, and it's the only videotape
Yeah.
you own.
That works too, yeah,
Back when we used to actually turn the dial.
Yeah, turn the
Right.
dial.
But yeah,
And
I
when-
guess it's in one of those things that it's like desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess. But,
There you go.
Well, I mean,
But
back then,
hey,
if you saw it in the show, you great. But if you didn't, then you had to wait a long time for it. And you're lucky enough to be like VHS time. You know what I mean? By then, if you loved it, you wanted to own it, and you didn't have a lot of them.
Oh yeah,
Watched the same ones over and over and over again. I've done that.
Yeah, but partially we're all spoiled because we're able to see so much content compared to what it was in the 70s, 80s. You were limited to what you could not just stream the internet and watch a movie, TV show. No, there was no TV on the internet because
there was no internet.
There was no internet.
Exactly.
So, I mean, even when there was internet, you couldn't stream nothing like that. But you were limited to
all
what
we
you
had
could
was
see.
a BBS.
Yeah.
And to wait 12 hours to download a picture,
And again, like I said, I lived 70 miles from anywhere, so it was a long distance phone call to call up into BBS.
Yeah, and you got long distance.
I remember my dad got
bored,
when my parents opened the first phone bill that had after I got my computer. Oh my God, they nearly killed me.
Yeah. Or if you had a girlfriend that was in the next town over.
Right.
Just the next town over would be long distance. They'd be like, your phone bill is. I'm like, oh, she just lives next town. Yeah, that's old days. So I'm gonna go ahead. We'll go through quickly, folks. If play or pass that are in the side chat, and we'll run through the panel because we pretty much we ain't got but 11 people, so it's us and Redneck. So all right. So Redneck said, tell what you thought, and I don't know if Octavia is still around. Cam, play or pass?
This one for me is a situational play. If you've seen it, then honestly you don't need to watch it again. But if you haven't seen it, then go ahead and watch it.
All right.
So yeah, situational play in a way.
Situational play. I like that.
Right.
For this, I give it a play.
Okay.
That was pretty enjoyable.
All right. Eddie.
I give it a play.
You give it a play. Okay. Andrew. Andrew. Play or pass?
Andrew.
Right.
Sorry. I was distracted. It's an okay movie, but it's a pass for me.
Okay. All right. Sharon. Play. Aubin.
Play, definite play. Playing every week of the year.
Every week of the year.
It brings me back, and I can't stop laughing at this movie. Anytime when I feel down, I think about this movie and I laugh. I was born a poor black child. That's all it takes, and it makes my day.
Doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Blue.
I'm with Cam. It's a situational play for me. It's if you've seen it before, don't rewatch it. If you've got fond memories of it, don't rewatch it. But if you've never seen it,
don't rewatch if you got
don't rewatch it.
Don't let it ruin your memories.
It's gonna ruin your memories of it.
Honestly, I kind of wish I hadn't because I thought it was funnier than I've.
Well, I'll give it. For me, I'm a little bit like everyone else. I think it depends on your age. For me, a lot of the throwback stuff, to me, there was stuff in it. So if you're 40 over, you probably might be okay watching it. I think if you're the under 40, I don't think you're going to get a lot of the humor because the humor now is different than the humor then. Now it's more, I don't want to say vulgar, but more vulgar, more rude, more
more dirty.
Yeah, the humor's different than it was back then. The way, even though he did do some dirty humor, it was the way they played it off. It wasn't so in your face, dirty humor. So, so I'll give it a soft play. How about that? That sounds better than if you don't want to ruin your memories, like Blue said. All right. So, what did you think, Roger?
Me? Oh, I love this movie. I know it's stupid, and I know it's not as funny as it used to be, but I still love it. And what I love most about today is that Penn had never seen it before, and now he's seen it. So that always makes me happy. So that's awesome. Thanks, Penn.
Yeah. And it is a movie that people, you know, if people talk about something, you'll be able to say, "Oh, I have seen a movie," you know, because there is parts in there that you'll hear quotes like, "I was born a poor black child," and people are like, "Where did that come from?" Well, now you know where it came from. So let's go. No, go ahead.
The new phone book's here. The new phone book's here.
Oh, I'm somebody. Look at him.
Somebody.
You know that that phone book scene reminded us of the part where he said that his name's tattooed on that woman's arse, and he's like, "Oh, it's probably been seen more times in the phone book."
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about some of the humor, it is funnier. I guess funnier now that we're talking about it than it was when I watched it. That's weird.
I really think that the movie has great writing. It's stupid, but it's great writing. I mean, Carl Reiner, Steve Martin, those are great comedic minds. They really are. And I just love comedy.
Well, and when we talk, it's got to be some good writing to it, because there's parts that we're quoting and we're all kind of laughing, even though we didn't laugh maybe when we were watching it. You think back in it, you know, when he says, "I got a new job," you know, I don't know how much it pays, but it's called a blowjob, and you know, it's just little things. It's funny, and when you watched it by yourself, it was. But then when you think about it, that was pretty good. So, all right, so that was.
Hey, Dabs, I just found out today that they're making a movie about Richard Pryor. Eh?
Oh, are they?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you were talking about it today. I think it's going into production.
Didn't even realize that. Good. Okay, interesting. Interesting.
Something to watch.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I hope it's not hot like fire. So so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put you guys, the people that jumped in the show, I'll put you guys in backstage. You guys know how it works. You guys are old hats at this, so I'm just gonna set you in the backstage. Okay, and so we're gonna start with my movie, The Wrestler, and I'm gonna be first because I picked it. So I want to go ahead and say all the things now that I want to say about it. So I watched this years ago, and I am a guy that grew up in the 80s that I loved wrestling. I loved the Von Erichs. If you guys remember, if you guys followed wrestling back in Von Erichs days, and Magnum, what was it? Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, and not your Hulk Hogan's. I liked those other wrestlers. The ones that weren't in the WWF, and this brought back what those guys had to go through as wrestlers, and it made me think about how much they have to abuse their bodies every day, and because a lot of these wrestlers wrestle multiple times a week. They're not NFL players where they do it once a week. They do it all during the week, and it's people say it's fake. Yes, it's choreography, but there's the athletic things they do is not fake. You are getting hit with certain items, and we saw in it. You are jumping and leaping off things. So I really like that. I thought Mickey Rourke in this movie played a really good part. I thought he did he did a very good acting job in this movie. I thought the movie got slow when he did try to search down his daughter. It got draggy. It seemed to drag along, and I'm like, I don't remember this because I remember the beginning part and then I remember the ending part. So I loved the wrestling. I loved how rough he looked. I loved the 80s music when they were doing Rat. For any of you guys that remember, they had Rat, Round and Round. Yeah. Let's see. One of the things I wrote about this is about life's choices. And this happens, this talks, we've seen numerous movies where it talks about these are life choices, where he's made certain choices from his life and how he interacted with his family. And we reflect once we get older and we start breaking down, our body isn't, we're not as vibrant and we can't depend on ourselves to do everything because we're not as independent. We start having those regrets and that what happened to my youth. I wish I would have been there for my kid's soccer game, those kind of thoughts. So I wrote in here, life's choices because we think we're going to live forever, but youth is fading. Treat people like you want to be treated later on because that's how you will be treated. And, like when his daughter's like, I don't want nothing to do with you because I remember all the things, broken promises. So that was something that I thought about. And I thought Marissa Tomei. I thought that she was in the same boat as Mickey Rourke's character. Mm-hmm. That she had basically been burned out as a stripper. All her better years were behind her. She wasn't getting any prettier. She's basically the old woman in the strip club. So again, that was the same thing. The choices that you make put you where you are now. And sometimes and she was ready for a change. So to me, good movie. There was a lot of stuff that I liked in it. The wrestling I loved in it, the storyline, but it did get draggy in the middle of the movie even for me, who I've only watched it one time, and that was back when it came out back in 2008. So it'd been a bunch of years ago. So that's my thoughts. Mm-hmm. Andrew?
Yep, I'll go second on this one. Okay. Yeah, like you, Todd, I like wrestling. I've always liked wrestling. Obviously, I know it's fake, and people. It's still. This is a good. I thought this movie was a good example of what it's like to be on the indie scene of wrestling, not like the glitz and glam of what the WWF/WWE was or is. Mm-hmm. This is a good interpretation of what wrestlers who don't get paid as much and have to work their way up go through before they hit any sort of big time. And it's just like getting dressed and going to bingo halls and getting dressed in all together with locker rooms, and it was another good example of like washed up older wrestlers still trying to make a living from it, because like when Mickey Rourke's character was big in wrestling, it was like the 80s, and they weren't making the money that what they do now, so clearly didn't save up enough, and they were doing a lot of drugs like steroids and stuff like that, and they obviously didn't save enough money. That's why, and you've seen it in real life as well with some of these older legend wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Still carried on wrestling. Like, even if you look at, I know he probably's got a lot of money, but even if you look at the likes of Ric Flair, who's really famous in wrestling, he still wrestled like way into his later years.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I imagine that he still made good money when he was in like wrestling in the 70s and 80s or whatever, but obviously not enough to retire on, I guess, I suppose, especially if you're living a lifestyle that some of these people do outside of the wrestling world. So I did like all the wrestling thing, and I thought all the wrestling part of the movie was quite accurate, and Mickey Rourke was really good with the character, and I liked how it just showed the behind the scenes behind wrestling, and how like these guys all like talk about what they're going to do during the match, but they kind of just like give each other spots. They don't like go through choreography sort of thing. They just say, hey, you do this, I'll do that, and then the rest they just make up as they go. And I like the hidden things it showed you with like how they get blood and stuff like that, where he tapes the razor blade and he's taped because actually they did do that back in the day. That's how they got blood. Obviously now they just use like blood capsules or something. So I liked how it went behind the scenes of the wrestling, and then when it got to like the personal part of the movie, to be honest, Todd, I'm not like you. I didn't think it dragged. I thought the whole story with him and his daughter, I didn't think it expanded on it enough. It's like the kind of like he went to see her, she didn't want nothing to do with them, so then he went back to see her again, give her the coat, and it was like kind of like she kind of like almost forgive him straight away, and they went out for a walk in nostalgic like places that they used to go when she was little, and he was like kind of reminding her that he was there for her a little bit, but obviously I know that was on the road when they're wrestling, so she kind of like felt that he was never there. But I just like it kind of went through that bit, and it was like she just kind of like instantly forgave him, and they got back to being kind of like daddy daughter type thing, which I thought was well. She seemed really pissed off with him at the start, but it hasn't taken him much to win her back over. But obviously he falls back into bad habits and just kind of forgets to go for a meal with her, and it's sad that like the last interaction they have is like her telling him she never wants to see him again, which is like that's like takes you to the end of the movie. I don't want to like go through step by step of what happens, but it's like it's a bit sad. Like I really think it's sad the last like scenes in the movie. And I forgot, like when it got to the end credits, I was like, "Oh God, I forgot it ends like this." I thought it was going to end all the way. Even the was it Marissa? Is that her name? The actress. I love her. I think she's stunning. I forgot that she was in this, and then when I seen she was in this and that she was a stripper, and I was like, yes. So good. I think she's. Yeah, I think she's. Yeah, she's. What else have we just seen her in recently?
She plays at May.
Yeah, and May. Yeah.
And Tony Stark wanted to do her.
Yeah. God, she's a beautiful woman. Yeah, I like the chemistry that had Ricky Rourke and her had as well, and she kind of like I don't know how she saw him really, because like one minute you think she's just treating him like a customer, and the next minute you think she's treating him like not like she likes him like the way he liked her, but like she was like they were good friends, and then she kind of like feels sorry for him a bit, but like yeah, their relationship was a bit weird, but it still kind of went with his situation and the way his story was going to kind of like they kind of worked that in nice. I don't know where I'm going with the rest of this, but I just did like the wrestling bit, and I did kind of like the story. I think they should have expanded a little bit more on the relationship between the father and the daughter, but yeah, I liked it, and because I like wrestling, and I thought they did a good job of showing how good wrestling can be.
All right.
All right. Alvin?
Yeah.
Alvin?
I pretty much just a lot what you guys said. This definitely brought me back to wrestling. I used to watch wrestling as a kid. I remember even going to a lot of ECW, and ECW was crazy. You know what I mean? That was nuts. And so that's how I took this movie. It's funny. I looked at my notes that I wrote, and then like at the end of my notes, I'm like, oh, forgot that the ending was fucked up. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, you know, I like the movie, but the ending would just kill me. You know, it's just like, damn. You know, you don't know. You know that okay, well, you know the situation with him and his daughter, but you know maybe he's gonna be with Marissa Tomei. I don't know if she really hung out for him in the back for him. You know what I mean? Once he said he was going to go out and wrestle, you know, she looked like, okay, well, she saw that he was enjoying himself, you know, but
she was gone.
She's gone. She thinks she turned around and left.
And to me, I think Mickey Rourke's character died in the ring.
I think so too.
That's what they were trying to say, because he was saying,
Right.
basically, he said, "I'm living for all of you,
Right.
fans," and to me, that's what I was. To me, they leave it open that maybe because he was already having heart palpitations.
Right. True. But they just that's like one of the reasons why I hated the movie. To leave me like standing there with a with a Woody, and you just say, "Oh, game over, the end." Then I'm like, what the hell are you doing to me? But Mickey Rourke really did a good job. That wasn't easy to act. Jumping around in the ring and being tossed around. That situation with the thumbtacks. Oh my gosh! And the other guy with the staples. It's just like, it really brought me back to ECW, because that's the kind of crap that they were doing, and it was just like, oh my god. Well, as a little kid watching, I was like, oh, this is great. But seeing it here is just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but pushing the limits.
Yeah. But I a lot of people think that the stuff is fake, but when you see these guys still beat up and bloody and having to get stitched up in the back of the of the venue, it's rough. The other thing I like, you remember him sitting there was he in the van playing the video games with the kids? Could you just imagine him driving around saying, "Come on, kids, come on in, play some video games with me"?
Well, you knew he was playing. He was playing that video game that he was in.
He was in, right?
That he was in that game from the 80s. So that was like it was like his heyday,
He's like living in the past.
Yeah. His parents being like.
He was really cute with the kids, though. Like, but the first scene with them, where he's like, he's pretend wrestling with them and stuff. It was really cute.
It was great.
It's sad that nowadays, when a man shows affection to children, people assume pedophile. I friggin' hate that.
Yeah.
Because half of the population are dads.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's about it for me. I don't want to use up everything. Okay. So, Blue, you can go next, or Roger?
Doesn't matter. It's up to Roger.
I'll go. I like this movie. I think it's a cool story that shows both Mickey Rourke's character and Marissa Tomei's character both aging out of their respective occupations and how they're dealing with it. Neither of them deal with it very good. I think Marissa probably deals with it a little better. I think this is probably Mickey Rourke's best job acting ever in a movie. I agree with I think Andrew and Aubin both said that the ending was a little weird, and I agree. The ending was lacking in the movie. I think they should have either concentrated on Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei's characters, or Mickey Rourke and Evan Rachel Wood's character. I think they just tried to do too much. I think they should have concentrated on one of those stories, and it would have been a better movie. And other than that, Marissa Tomei, absolute stunning fox. I mean, you don't get
on her.
Oh my God, she's 40 years old at that time, and her body is perfect. A little bit of ink, a little bit of jewelry. Yeah. Don't get much better than that. Good movie. Thanks for that, Todd.
Yeah, thank you. Blue.
Alrighty. So everybody knows I don't like dramas. So I had a hard time with this. I have a hard time with sad, and just I don't know. I get like sad enough on its own normally that I don't really want to be watching it. But Mickey Rourke was phenomenal. Like I still have a hard time looking at him, because I remember Mickey Rourke when he first came out, and he was smoking hot, like 9.5 weeks, and there was one. What was it? Something about the devil. Anyways.
Well, he was better looking in that movie that we had with the one with the hitman.
Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. He was way better looking than that movie.
Yeah, but when he was young, he was Jesus, he was like woo. So I mean, but he was so perfect for this part because he's kind of just like that. Like even when he was in Iron Man 2, he was perfect for that. He was kind of like lazy, easygoing, kind of weirdo, you know. Like he plays that a lot lately. He was in I think all three of the Expendable movies there with Sylvester Stallone and everything. But no, he did he win the Oscar for this?
I
don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, he was phenomenal in this. Marissa Tomei, I always like her. I think she's always solid. So I mean, I liked it. Would I watch it again? God no. That was enough. That was enough depression for one time. Sad little wanting a relationship with a girl that didn't really want a relationship with him and blowing it with his kid. And it's like, could anything go right? Cutting himself? Could this dude do anything right? I don't think so. But I'm with Andrew too on the whole, all the wrestling stuff was pretty cool. Like the way seeing behind the scenes and how they would plan stuff. And yeah, and like him with the razor blade and just all the weird little quirky things where you're like, holy crap, they actually did that to themselves just to entertain people. Like, and these weren't big arenas either. It's like, you know, the local gym and stuff. Mm-hmm. So thinking, you just cut open your forehead for 40 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he didn't fit in a normal life, like a normal job.
Wait, did you see, like, one of them was like a school or something, or it was like a school because it had like that classroom. He was changing in the classroom.
Yeah. So I liked it, but yeah, if you dramas, you guys are your freaking dramas.
I told you I was going to make you watch this.
There was a funny bit that I thought there was a funny bit that I was thinking to myself, I bet you Todd laughed hard at this one, was when he went to get some extra hours from his boss.
Yeah.
He pushed the door open, his boss is watching porn. He's like, I was like, yeah, I bet you Todd was pissing himself laughing at that bit.
Well, I cracked up at my part where I cracked up with was at the deli counter. Woman says a little bit more,
a little bit less.
No, a little less. He's like, okay, no, a little more. He puts a little more. She goes, maybe a little less. He turns around, and he takes and eats a little bit of it.
Yeah, the customer's like, I want 2 big breasts. He's like, yeah, I'd like 2 big breasts.
I mean, did you see? He got comfortable there, but then when that guy noticed who he was, and that pulled him back into, wait a minute, I'm going to be recognized as Randy the Ram, and I am a deli clerk. Mm-hmm. And that's when he snapped and he stuck his hand right in the slicer. It didn't bother him. You know what I mean? Blood
squirting everywhere.
I think
definitely bothered me.
One of the things about this movie that I read about it that made me laugh, though, was that apparently Hulk Hogan was going around saying that he was offered the role, but that he turned it down. And then the director came back and said, no, he wasn't. No. He said it was always meant for Mickey Rourke. There was no asking Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan never did any of that.
Hulk Hogan acted in like stuff where he was babysitting children. I don't think
No, I mean he never did any of these types of matches or wrestling.
No, he doesn't.
No. I bet he started on a regional circuit. It just
but I don't think he did the athletic stuff though. Because I don't think he never. Whenever I've watched any of Hulk, he never did any athletic. All right. So on a side note, this has nothing to do with this movie. If you guys are wrestling fans, watch that 30 for 30 with Ric Flair, where they do the story of they interview Ric Flair. Phenomenal 30 for 30 ESPN, and gives you, he's honest about what they did and how they lived, and he was talking about him and Andre the Giant starting to drink from like Chicago and drinking the whole time till they got to Tokyo or something like that, and he talked about how the drugs and all of that stuff happened, and it really gives you, again, like Andrew was talking about with this movie, I liked it too, that inside look on, we know that it's not staged, but it's planned on how things are going to go in certain aspects, but the physical tolls that these guys take, Oh, look at Mark says, don't be a Hulk Hogan hater.
I'm not. I like Hulk Hogan.
He's just not as athletic as
I don't like Hulk Hogan. I'll say that right now. I think
He's
And I'm not
racist.
talking about his wrestling. I'm just talking about real life.
Well,
Yeah,
it didn't
I
help
liked him
having that reality show.
as a wrestler, but as a person, he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, his reality show, I think, messed him up because it really showed who he was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think that helped him. So I'm sorry. Blue, were you still talking, or I think Roger was done, right?
Yeah, I was done. It was
okay. Blue, I was gonna grab some of the other people that
I'm
were
done.
in. Okay, all right, Sharon. So, what did you think of The Wrestler?
I thought The Wrestler was I'm about like you. I thought The Wrestler was pretty good. Once he started trying to reunite with his daughter, it was kind of a little slow for a little bit, but then it was some parts was pretty sad. I mean, I was really hoping that when he start reuniting with his daughter, that they were going to really have this great turnout, together, because he was really bonding with his daughter. And then the relationship with Marissa Tomei, he was back and forth with her, and it was sad to see, when he was, having the heart problems and everything. But in the end, when he was going through, he went back to his old ways. Like you said, he, I guess broke up or whatever with Marissa Tomei, and then he missed the dinner date with his daughter, and she didn't want to see him anymore. So the only thing he had left was wrestling, and stuff. And it was so sad in the end, because that's all he had left. He went through all that. He went back to drinking, went back to doing all the stuff he did before, instead of, focusing on, what he was trying to accomplish, which was getting back to the relationship with his daughter. And it was really sad, to see what happened in the end. So that's my take on the movie.
All right. Thank you, Sharon. Eddie, what was your thoughts?
I like this movie because it depicts the life of a wrestler, like the showman and the dad at the end. Because wrestlers, in other words, they had to perform. They had to, it's all show. But at the end, when it comes to personal matters, when he had to get in touch with his daughter, in other words, her daughter was just saying, I'm looking at this man who's supposed to be my dad, but all he is a showman. Is he giving me the show to be my dad? It made me think about something else, because I was into wrestling when I was young in high school, and I went to school with the son of a wrestler, a very famous wrestler in Montreal, and he was like trying to make up like his dad, but it finally got him into prison because he got into a lot of troubles. Okay, then after, I'm saying this, what I see in this movie, where you see the showman becoming a dad, or trying to become a dad, was like two different people altogether. I was stuck on a plane once going from Montreal to Quebec, Montreal to Vancouver, with a very famous Canadian wrestler, and he was a showman until the end. When we got off, he wasn't a showman anymore. He was a normal person. After you talk to him for 4 hours, he can't put up a show for 4 hours. So this movie, what I liked about it, because, I like the Rourke, the way he's trying to show everybody he's the boss, he's the star, everything like that. But when it comes to being on the personal side with his daughter, that's where he can't do it, because he's still a showman. He's got to, he's trying as much as he can, but he's lived so long as a showman, he can't become a dad.
Good point.
Teresa Tomei, I liked her in My Cousin Vinny, and even in this movie, she was very good. But besides that, I recommend this movie.
Okay. Thank you, Eddie. Professor Penn.
Yes. This was a pretty interesting watch, because it brought me back into the days where I was watching wrestling. definitely gave me some ECW vibes when they did sort of like, I guess, their rebranding back in 2006, and they had their 4 seasons of that, and some of the matches and the brutality, the blood, and all that brought me back to the matches of like Sabu, which was one of my favorite wrestlers from the ECW days. And yeah, I felt connected with it because it gave you an insight of what the grind could be like for the people who are trying to like get to that all-star level of, a WWE or a Impact Wrestling. It gave you it's real life, at the end of the day, they're humans, they go through their issues and problems. And with this character in particular, he didn't have the strongest relationship with his daughter, and he was going through the motions. He fell short of a promise, missed a dinner date, things like that. He was in and out of the strip club, and it was interesting because it was quite a few of the strip club scenes. You honestly could have called this movie "The Wrestler in the Strip Club" in a sense. In a sense. So, but what's interesting is that Cassidy and Randy, they have sort of like their performers, and one of the things that they have to do is sort of like be experts at faking something. Like in reality, for the most part, the wrestlers don't really hate each other. But then again, when it comes to the stripping, the stripper doesn't really love you. So in a sense, they're both playing off these roles that they have to do, for the sake of their livelihood. And they're sort of like trying to like work through the motions and transition out of that in a sense, but still keep their sanity. So I think overall it was a pretty good watch. And, it's life. You got to go through the ringer sometimes, unfortunately.
All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and I'll let everybody give the player pass for your thoughts that are in the side chat. So you guys player pass for this movie. One other thing that I'm going to mention that I thought about when you guys were talking. Do you remember when they were doing the autographs when he came back after his heart attack and he says, I'm going to be in it? And he was at that where they were doing autographs and signing VHS tapes. And he looked around the room and some of the guys were sleeping. One of the guys had like crutches and one guy was in a wheelchair. I think that was the moment when he said, is that how I want to go out? Do I want to go out like just fizzle out like these guys, holding on, being in a wheelchair, just sucking to take a picture for $5 or sign an autograph? I think that was part of his turning point of saying, you know what, I'm not going out like that. I'm not fizzling out. So player pass for the people on the side chat, if you would. And we'll start with Penn. Player pass for the wrestler.
Play for sure.
Play, thank you. Eddie?
It's a play.
It's a play. Mr. Andrew?
It's a play.
All right, awesome. Roger?
Play for me.
Roger, play. Sharon?
Play.
Play. Aubin?
Play. Just also to say, I couldn't remember till now, there was another movie that came out in 2018 called, I think it was either Giant or Andre the Giant. That was pretty good. Where Andre the Giant really, it was a documentary, but he tells really everything. All the crap that he went on with Hulk Hogan and all that. But it's a definite play for me. As much as I hated the ending.
Another add-on. You're talking about Andre the Giant. Well, he started off in Montreal, eh?
Right. Either that or he was in France.
No, well, he was brought over from another. There was another wrestler in Montreal. His name was Edouard Carpentier, and he brought him over from France, and he started off, and then he made his name. He was very, very well known. He went under the name of André Le Géant, but it says Andre the Great in English.
Right.
But he was very well known in Quebec.
So there's some other people saying Andre the Giant documentary. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I'll have to look that up.
You look at you think you like it.
Yeah. Blue.
Play,
and then I'll give it a play. So, I was a little bit worried. I was scared that I was like, because to me the movie kind of dragged, but I liked it for the wrestling. So, The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, 2008. So thanks everyone for voting on that. And we're going to move on to Unhinged. So let me go to that. And we're going to start with Unhinged. And who wants to be first on that? I'm going to go ahead and leave everybody.
Well, I don't know if you should throw me in detention.
No,
because I didn't see it.
Wait,
okay.
Wait, she's going first.
Okay.
I didn't watch it. Who's next?
Me. I didn't watch it. You want to throw me in detention?
Okay.
I'll go first.
All right.
I'm going to watch it tonight, though. I promise you that.
Okay. All right. So we'll let Sharon go first. Sharon, what was your thoughts on Unhinged?
I thought it was a great movie. Action from the very beginning. From the time where he's first at the house and he sets the house on fire. Mm-hmm. From the time where the whole movie at complete action in it. I think this is one of I forgot his name.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe's
yeah.
best movies. He did an excellent job. I mean, he was a pure psycho. That family, the lady with her son and stuff. I mean, when he got upset simply because she didn't say she was sorry on the expressway when she was taking her son to school. And boy, did he make her day horrible. He said he was going to make it bad, and he did everything he could to make it bad and stuff. I mean, he I don't want to. He got it with the lawyer. I mean, everything he did was crazy. I mean, even the way he did at that restaurant with the lawyer when she got to the store first. The guy who walked her out the store, because first he wanted to chase. And he got her phone, and then he got put another phone in her glove compartment and stuff, and he had her at his mercy once he got her phone. Then the first place he goes is meet with that lawyer, and then he gets to then he makes her think that he's going to that lady's house, and but he turns around and goes to her house, and I mean the whole movie and stuff, and that little car after she got that gas. I mean, all the action scenes through the whole movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, not a moment. I mean, the way they were going through them streets and all that, the high speed chase, you know, and she gets there and he does, you know, does away with the girlfriend, the brother's girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And she's calling the police. She's asking for help. And when she gets to school to try to get her son. And like I said, the movie was action all the way through. I don't want to tell every little part of the movie. I'm going to give some parts to other people. But yeah, the movie was really great.
Okay. So, all right, let's see.
I'll go next.
Okay. Go ahead, Roger. Yeah. Ask whoever.
I'm the complete opposite. I absolutely hated this movie. I guess I'm like Blue with dramas and action movies. Action movies are my dramas. If I'm Blue in this situation, it just the movie unhinges if she doesn't have a passcode on her phone, and I just don't like movies that are so contrived. The only reason this movie happens is because she doesn't have a lock screen on her phone. If she has a lock screen on her phone, none of this can happen. Mm-hmm. And they prefaced how bad it was to have how bad it was not to have a lock screen on your phone prior to him getting the phone, because her son said, "Let me see your phone. What's your passcode?" And she said, "I don't have one." And he goes, "Oh, that's so dangerous, Mom." Little, you know. And in this movie, it turned out to be deadly, deadly dangerous not to have a pass phone on your phone. So it just something like that at the very beginning of the movie just takes me out of it. When they're trying to feed you a poop sandwich and tell you that it's tuna, I just have a hard time with the rest of the movie. So For me,
tuna wrapped in cellophane.
Yeah. I need mayo, not poop. But for me, Russell Crowe did do a good job. I think, again, it was bad writing. I just find a lot of Hollywood writers very, very lazy, and it takes all the enjoyment out of a movie to me. So that's all I have to say about it.
All right, who is next? Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah. First of all, the first thing I thought was, bloody hell, Russell Crowe's packed the pounds on, hasn't he?
He did look pretty big.
He looked like he ate a small child or something. Jesus Christ.
When he was in the restaurant and he had his shirt tucked in, that's when you really see how big he had gotten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he has his shirt tucked in.
Yeah, his belly was huge in that scene, Todd.
Huge.
Like,
wow.
It probably stuck out, 18 inches from his pant line.
It was
crazy. There was some flashbacks to what you call him, Gladiator. I'm thinking, is this the same guy? But this movie, it, like as Roger just said there, it's got quite a lot of plot holes in it. And like I kept thinking, these cops that are chasing him or after him, they've got to be the worst police department in the history of the mankind, because like, how could they not? He just killed 2 people at the very start. Sorry for spoiling it for anybody.
we got
I'm never gonna watch it anyway.
It's okay. Don't worry.
He kills. Obviously, must be his ex-wife and a partner. I guess it's a lawyer, is it? Or I guess that's what I took from the conversation.
Yeah, he was a lawyer. He was a lawyer.
Yeah.
The lawyer at the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was a lawyer at the restaurant, but the person who
he burned the house
with his wife. Yeah, that obviously was his wife's divorce lawyer, because you could get that from the conversation he was having with the lady's lawyer in the restaurant.
Yeah, because he started saying, "Hey, you're sleeping with you're sleeping with her, aren't you?"
Yeah, he's taking this all out on what's happened to him, on her and this guy. When he killed those 2, I thought, right, so the police has like they know there's a guy left the scene in a truck, a grey truck, and they had like quite a bit of, they had an eyewitness or something, but they still can't catch him. And then he's just in the middle of traffic, and he's just sitting in the middle of traffic. He's just killed 2 people. I would have been out of the state. I would have been gone. He's still hanging around. Oh yeah, they don't track his cell phone. They could have tracked his cell phone to ping where he was, because it said that he was the key suspect in that. So obviously they're trying to track him down, but none of them decided to use the technology that they all use these days and check the ping of a mobile phone, which he was using quite a lot in this movie. I don't know if you noticed. So but I thought to myself, right, it's a movie. Don't forget it's a movie. So let's just put that to one side. And if you just look at it for like the action and stuff like that, I thought it was quite good. It reminded us a little bit of that movie with Paul Walker, Joyride. I don't know if anyone's seen that.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. That is good. It's like that, but it's a little bit more violent, because obviously this guy's got no qualms about killing anybody or hurting anybody, harming anybody. So it kind of made it a little bit unpredictable, because like those kind of movies you can kind of read when you know like the main people aren't going to get physically hurt. You can kind of read what's going to happen. But in this one, some people that you thought wouldn't get hurt got pretty badly hurt. So like for the action in the chase and stuff, it was quite good. But like when you look at all the plot holes in it and you think, yeah, this guy should have been caught way before any of the other stuff happened. Like even when they find the tablet in our car and they track her phone, which he's got, and it just happens to be just a couple of cars in front of them, and then it causes that car crash for the police. And she rings the police, and the guy on the phone's like, "Oh, well, like, yeah, no one can help you at the minute because they're dealing with a crash that's just happened on the thing." She's just like, "Yeah, that's him who's chasing us," and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I know, but we just don't have anybody that can help you at the minute." And you're like, "Well, you do realize the guy you're chasing is like a murderer. He's killed multiple people at this point, and he's been chasing this woman for fucking half the movie, but you've got no one to deal with it. You've got no one to help her out." It's just like basically the operator was like, "Yeah, good luck, lady." So
Yeah.
I just kept thinking, God, this police force is like, I wouldn't rely on them for anything. Like, I wouldn't rely on them to get me cat out of a tree. They were so bad. But I just kept putting in my mind, let's just put the stupidness but to one side and then just watch it for like what it is, which is just like action chasing, like. And I think Russell Crowe was good in it. The other actors were kind of subpar. But if you just look at it for what it is, which is like a crazy action chasey movie, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really got much context to it, and it's not like, I wouldn't say it's the greatest written movie of all time. And Russell Crowe is so fat in it, I can't believe it. It's crazy.
Hey, did you say that he put on some pounds?
That's him in normal life, though. He's been big for a while. It's not like
that's a picture of him there in the top right of the screen.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's terrible. Okay, let's see. Who wants to be next? We got Eddie Pespin.
I'll go next.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, this was, well, the action scenes in this were pretty good. Like, for this to be a 90-minute movie, I could honestly say that there wasn't any boring scenes in the movie. Of course, in terms of realism, I mean, let's leave and check in at the diner scene where everybody was pretty much froze, with their phones and just watching, the crime like literally take place. It wasn't like realistic at all. But it was one of those things where the tone of the movie was set from the beginning. I mean, like the opening scene where it was sort of like, I think, nighttime, and it had like this cinematic grain over the film, and it was the house burning down. You pretty much knew that the tone of the movie was set from the beginning, as far as like what was going to happen, what was going to occur. It was going to be a violent movie from the get-go. So I expected that, and heck, it was just one of those things where, hey, there's a lot of crazy people in this world, and you just never know what's on someone's mind at any given time. I mean, Rose thing pretty much proved that when he pretty much wanted a genuine apology, and he felt like disrespected, obviously, that he didn't get a genuine apology. And the son was like, "No, I'll just forget about it. Just forget about it." And heck, when everything can go wrong, like this movie definitely proves it. Overall, action-packed, fun movie to watch. Realistically, script needed some work, but didn't really watch it for the story. Really, it was like the action here for me.
All right.
Me too.
Thank you, Pen. Eddie, did you get unmuted or see?
Yeah, well, okay, it took me a while to get into this movie, but after a while I said, well, road rage is like kind of crazy because you see a lot of it these days, people are confined all the time. But what I really didn't like about it is the follow-up when he had her phone. The possibility of somebody's taking a phone and it's not locked, and then that just opened up the doors to everything else. But after a while, it got boring to me. I don't know. It just dropped out after that. But I think it took road rage to extremities. Could it really happen that way?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen road rage, but not like this.
No. Well, you're in Canada.
Come
so
to New York, okay?
You're in Canada. Everyone's nice up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's wait until you get here.
Yeah. No, I've seen some rude people there already. So All right.
Okay.
Cam, what did you think? Cam B, are you there?
Cam.
All right, so Cam is muted still. All right, so I'll go ahead and go. And so first of all, this movie storyline, yes, not great storyline. Script, not great script. But I have to say that the movie, to me, the filming, the action kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. My stomach felt uneasy the whole movie. My stomach was in a knot because the way the action happened and Andrew's right about the police, and she calls the police, and they're just thinking, there's so many things that you think, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? But the action of the movie played when he stabs that guy in the restaurant, and you're thinking, he's not going to do this, and he does, and he doesn't care. To me, it was, if you could forget about she has her phone unlocked, and I actually changed my passcode because I got scared after this movie. I need to change it because I'm scared that someone's going to know it. There's a lot of storyline holes, but as just a straight action, over the top movie, yes. Again, like I said, I was almost nervous and had a knot almost through most of this movie. Just the tense, the atmosphere. So to me, I felt like they did a good job for me to put that into a movie to where I felt in it. Even if there was issues with storyline or plots or dialogue, the action in it, the likelihood of him finding her mom's house in that crazy neighborhood. And I'm like, at first I thought, like, yeah, you're going to find that house, that one house in that big neighborhood.
She was dumb enough to leave the car in the drive.
Yeah. I mean, to me, there were so many of those things. I was like, but then I was like, okay. I did think that the ending was a little predictable, because when her son's hiding and then of course knocks something over to where he can hear him, I thought I was like, whatever. But for me, the road rage stuff, him just going batshit crazy, and the lesson here, and if you watched all the way to the end, the lesson here is just be careful who you're honking at, because you don't know what kind of day they're having. And that's basically what Russell Crowe was having, a really bad day, and she didn't give a little friendly beep beep. She gave a. He says, "You can't give a friendly."
She did give him a friendly tap at the end, though, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gave him a courtesy tap at the end, definitely.
Yeah, I thought that. Actually, I laughed out loud at the very end when she said that.
I did when she said that. Yeah.
When she said that, I actually laughed. I was like, "That's funny." So, but yeah, to me, that's it is what it is on that movie. It's not going to win an Oscar.
It's funny. It's funny you say he was having a bad day. I mean, he did just kill 2 people, and he was on the run from.
But remember, he got fired. It said he got fired. It said he got fired without a pension. It's because if you hear on the news is like, this guy was fired from his job, and he had been fired, and this and that, and then he got divorced, and there was like all this domino effect of his life, and he's
then
like,
he killed a couple. Then he took some pills, killed a couple of people. Decided to hang around and drive around in his car because obviously he knew the police were thick as shit and they weren't going to catch him. So
because they knew it was a gray truck from the fire. And hey, one of the things that I found funny, when he follows her at the very beginning, and he comes right up behind her, and they're in traffic,
and he's ramming her.
Bumps her, and there's cars everywhere. Everywhere. There's cars all around him, and he just like boom, and then backs up, boom, right into her again. And I'm thinking, not a single person stops to look in the girl. Yeah, she had her little headphones on, but you can't hear that. No other car heard that. No other car said, "I got to take a video of this," or I'm going to call the police.
I'll tell you what was funny. Yeah, go on, Roger.
There was no dance in that Volvo.
Yeah, you're right. With that big truck.
Right.
Finch never hit the car.
Yeah, but you know what? That is a possibility. I had a Volvo, and those suckers, you got to hit them real hard because they have the big friggin' like rubber bumpers.
I think
on
what was funnier than what you just said, Todd, was every time they try to get someone's attention in the car, they were just shouting at them through the window, and I'm like, you do realize you've got a horn on your car? You know, you can just press the horn.
Well, that got him in a lot of trouble to begin with.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that got her in
fair
trouble
point.
to start off with. So the people of this digest, player pass. What do you guys think of this? So Unhinged, Russell Crowe, hour and 30 minutes, so it's not that much time. So Octavia, I see she's over there, Patty D, and go with Cam. What did you think? Player pass on this?
This one
Oh, wait.
for me, I know I was out earlier.
Oh, okay.
This one for me is kind of a pass. I mean, for me, Russell Crowe did one of my favorite movies ever. I watched it in high school. It was A Beautiful Mind from 2001.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it in high school because of psych class. And I was like, this movie is the greatest. So
Yeah.
I literally had to distance myself from that love for that movie to watch this movie. And I was like, okay, it's not Russell's fault. It's not Russell's fault.
No, it was the writer's
And I was
fault.
like, nah.
I think it was the Twinkies.
Yeah, I was like, it's not Russell's fault. Like no, it's just bad writing, bad script, whatever. So yeah, this honestly, keeping it a buck with you always is a pass for me.
Okay, good. All right, thank you, Cam.
It was the same guy
Ben.
that wrote Child 44, right?
Could have been.
God, is
I give it a play.
Penn, let's see. Penn says he's gonna give it a play. Okay. Eddie gave it a.
I'm going to
Okay.
give it a pass.
You'll give it a pass.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew.
It was definitely better than Child 44. Definitely better than that.
True.
I'm gonna give it a play because everyone now and then likes to watch a bit of mindless action, and it does keep you. The action does keep you interested enough to watch it all the way at the end.
It is only an hour.
It's
Because
only
it is
an
yeah,
only an hour and a
yeah.
half. If it was 2.5 hours, you
Yeah,
would
the
turn
length
off
of it
after.
obviously helped, but yeah, just forget about the stupid police work and all the plot holes and stuff, and just concentrate on the action.
All right. Roger. Roger.
Technical difficulties today.
Sorry.
yeah.
I had myself on mute. I've come to the realization that I do not care for action movies.
Nobody pick an action movie because Roger's not.
Pick them. I'll watch them. I just don't like them.
Hold on, Roger. John Wick.
I don't like them. I find them.
Whoa!
So many plot holes. So many plot holes.
Wow.
I do not like John Wick at all.
That's a heated statement.
And I thought there was thinking I love
Roger.
Roger.
That's a heated statement.
Roger,
Yes.
I can save you here, Roger, because guess what? I haven't seen John Wick.
You haven't seen John Wick. Of course.
Oh, Andrew.
Sorry, Aubrey.
No,
It's going to end up putting.
Can we do
Aubrey
a
back in
watch
hospital.
party? Maybe we do a watch party.
Yeah.
I broke down and watched
Why am
number
I?
3.
Why am I even on this show?
My kids were on me to watch John Wick 3, and I want those hour and a half back. I don't know how I get that back.
John Wick 3.
Wow.
I
Three
didn't.
was
I mean,
great.
I don't know. There was parts of 3 I didn't like. There was parts of 3 I didn't like. I thought the fight scenes were way too long. He fought from the time the movie started. You're going to fight physically that long? Nobody's fighting for 2 hours.
It goes in order of how good they are. 1 was definitely number 1, 2 was number 2, and 3 was number 3 for sure.
Okay.
Him with his headshots, like it doesn't matter if he shoots a guy in the chest first, he always finishes him with a headshot. It's so cool.
That is the best.
I'm just not an action guy.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Roger. That one was like, whoa.
All right, we still got to pick next week's movies. So Sharon, our shrinking Sharon, what did you think of Unhinged? Play or pass?
Play.
Play. Okay. Alban.
No, I'm gonna watch it later.
Oh, I forgot you
I'm
didn't watch
watching
it.
it after
Never
the
mind.
show.
She's not going to watch it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have to.
No,
Yeah, I will.
I can't be bothered.
I don't want to. I need some. I need stuff to watch. Although
Yeah.
I'm backlogged with stuff since I haven't watched anything in a week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a whole week. Yeah, probably.
Okay, so next up,
I give it a play.
Oh, sorry,
So-
I forgot to talk.
Yeah, you forgot about me. Yeah, you skipped right past me.
Finally,
So,
you forget about us all the
Makes a-
time. It's about
makes a
time
change.
somebody puts you. Yeah. So it's Andrew and I next week, and then the week after. So far, Cam will be up next week.
Ooh.
So think about it. And then it'll be probably Cam and Aubin, I believe.
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
Nice team up. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, you got anything?
Yeah, I have. I've changed mine yesterday. All the way up until yesterday, I was going to go with Collateral,
Mhm.
but I decided I want to watch another humor, like another funny movie. So I'm picking Life, which has got Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy.
All right.
Say that again.
And I was inspired
Wait.
by
Life?
Yeah.
Life. Yeah.
Martin
Eddie
Lawrence,
Murphy.
Eddie
Martin
Murphy,
Lawrence, Eddie Murphy.
I think they start off on the Chain Gang, don't they? In that one?
Yeah, Burning
probably
Man.
early 2000s.
I'm so good we can't watch trailers. I want to watch trailers.
No, you can go.
Mm.
Okay, go ahead.
Make sure
Go
you
ahead.
put the trailers in the Telegram group and everybody go watch them.
Yeah. I'm putting them up there a bit here.
Bless you, Blue.
Thank you. So what are we doing? We're just waiting for Todd to
Shoot.
not find a trailer.
No. You do your thing.
Okay,
go.
well, I was inspired by Marissa Tomei, and so we are going to watch My Cousin Vinny.
Oh,
yes. Oh, yes.
I like that one.
Awesome movies this week. Good job, guys.
It was either going to be that or the Blues Brothers, but I decided to go with My Cousin Vinny.
Now, do you classify the Blues Brothers as an action movie? Because I do love that one.
There is a lot of action.
There
in that,
is. There
I
is.
admit.
It's more of a comedy though.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a comedy. It's an action movie. It's a musical. It's got everything.
What's so good about the Blues Brothers? Because they're all musicians. They're all real musicians.
Yeah, they totally were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. And it's
Donald
got
Duck,
Carrie
yeah.
Fisher in it. Hey, Carrie Fisher when she was really young. I remember one time I was watching with my uncle, first time I ever watched it, and there's a scene and she's about to blow up the building, and all you can see is her eyes. Like it's like all this is all dark, and you can just see her eyes. And I turn to my uncle and I go, "Is that Princess Leia?" He goes, "Holy crap! How did you guess that?" You can just tell by her eyes.
Yeah, but all the remakes of the Blues Brothers after that, they weren't too good. You know, the Blues
no.
Brothers 2000.
Yeah, the original. The original.
No.
There she is. There, she's awesome. That so's he though. Joe Pesci. Oh God.
The two Utes. The two Utes.
Yeah, it's got Ralph Macchio in it too. If you want a little Karate Kid action.
Isn't Fred Gwynn the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
I swear, I don't know if I've
Can't
seen
beat that voice.
If you haven't seen this, Todd, you're gonna laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Wow.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I think I did watch it like back in the day.
Okay. So those are our two movies. All right. So that's our two movies.
Yeah. So this and My Cousin Vinny.
Octavia wants to know what's a Ute.
You got to watch the movie to find out.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right. So we got the two movies. I want to thank everyone that joined the panel. Cam and Penn, Eddie, Shrink and Sharon. Thank you guys for jumping in, having the guts. This show is created and designed so that any of you guys can jump on the show. We want people to jump on here, talk about what you thought of the movie. Did you like it? Not like it? Was it a play or a pass for you? So get some courage to do that. If not, we're more than happy to have you chat on the side, and that was great if you guys want to do that. And I will go ahead and start with Andrew. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, just bye, I guess.
That's all, folks. All right, Roger.
Thanks for inviting me to pick a movie. Had fun watching movies as always, and look forward to watching this week's movies because they're both funny.
Alban.
I'm glad to be back. I'm gonna watch these two movies. Are we gonna do? Is it too late to do anything for Halloween? Are we gonna throw in a horror in there for some extra credit, guys?
How about the original Halloween?
Oh,
Okay.
Oh goodness!
Hey, you made us watch yours. Why wouldn't we watch Halloween?
I'm game, but
Jamie Lee Curtis.
oh, goodness, it's been a minute.
I can't do Halloween. You guys go ahead.
Can't do that one. Okay.
That would have been me as a child.
What about Craft? Craft is a new movie just came out this week with the four witches. We got that one, and then you've got that comedy-ish one called Witches that has
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
What was it? What was her name? We just saw her in
Sarah Jessica Parker. Was she in Witches?
No.
The original Witches was
Sarah Jessica Parker and Hocus Pocus.
Who was we just saw her.
It's
she was in The Help.
It's Anne Hathaway.
Octavia Spencer.
Who?
Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer is in.
Oh, I like Octavia.
It's the one with the witches where she.
I heard the cutest story the other day about Octavia Spencer. She's apparently it was just her birthday, and all these kinds of celebrities were wishing her happy birthday, and the one she was most excited about was John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves. Because apparently when she moved from Alabama, she drove up in a shitty brown car, and I guess it died on her, and people were passing her by on the road, and the guy on a motorcycle pulled up. It was Keanu Reeves, and he helped her push her car off the road. And she said she never forgot about that. I think that's adorable. Keanu Reeves is so awesome.
He is. He's an awesome guy.
He is a really
So did
I saw that one.
So do we want to decide?
Huh? What, Andrew?
I saw a movie Sean put on Plex, Loving Monsters. It looked interesting.
And good?
Just from
Loving
the poster.
Monsters.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's about.
I don't either. I've never
Did you say from the poster?
Loving Monsters.
From the poster, yeah.
So that's how you judge your movies.
Obviously,
a movie based on the poster.
Well, you don't like Scarface because it's in black and white.
So do we just stick with the two, or does someone do we want to do a third as extra credit?
You want to do the extra because none of us have probably seen it and it's new.
I was just thinking. I just happened to saw previews for that Craft, which was the four girls, and they get these magical powers. Then I saw that one with Octavia Spencer, where there's the witch's ball and they turn kids into mice. Empty Man looked like a scary movie, but I don't think it's out yet.
That Craft is like a sequel to the original one from 1990.
The original, the Craft.
Okay. I was just off the top. I mean, those are all new, so that's the only reason I called those out.
So you guys want to do the Craft? Or which one you want to
do?
Who?
How about everybody watch their own individual, whatever the hell movie you want to watch, but you got to watch something scary, and then we'll talk about what you chose.
Okay.
So
good idea, Blue. Good idea.
You pick your scary movie for Halloween, and then come back, and we'll talk about what movie you chose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you just talk about it for a couple minutes.
Let us know if it's any good or not.
Yeah, give us your Yeah, you don't have to tell us the whole movie, but just tell us what you thought of that movie. And
Yep.
Okay. So it's called. We're gonna call it your pick. So this is your pick. So it's your pick, Halloween. So whatever you want.
Then, Halloween themed or scary.
Yeah, Halloween or scary, and then we'll then each of us will have a thought about what we watched, and we can give our thoughts on it. All right, sounds fun. So happy Halloween to everybody. Thanks for everyone joining. Blue, did you have anything you wanted to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip you.
Good.
See, I caught myself. All right, so I just want to thank everyone for joining the show. Thanks for everyone watching, because we do this just for fun. This is and I know we call it homework because sometimes it is work to actually sit down and to find the time to watch these movies. And it's fun. And I will suggest, and this is a thing, and Blue and I have done this, and some of you guys that may have a Plex account, if you have Plex and have a friend, do the watch party. And it is, if you have it and maybe put your phone on, you can do a Skype call or some other kind and mute yourself. You're watching it and then you're able to talk about it, because it's fun to watch a movie with somebody else and be able to comment on it. So that's
date night.
Yeah, date night.
Hey, Alvin, can you make a T-shirt of all the nurses you had when you were in the hospital?
Listen, let me tell you something. It's one thing to have great nurses, but nowadays in a hospital, it's like, before it was like, okay, the nurse would at least take her mask down or come up with and put the mask on. There is none of that. So you don't know what you're getting.
You know what I mean? That might be.
That's why I was like, just get me the fuck out of here,
See, all them women with them boogity teeth, they got a chance right now. Got the messed up grill. They got this is their opportunity.
Hey, Alvin, you should say, ugly early.
Nice. All right, so hey, thanks for Alban. I'm glad that Alban's back. I'm glad that he's feeling well, and we've given you our thoughts and prayers. Numerous people, we talked about you on Friday, that people were concerned, and I hope I put you out there and wanted people to pray for you, because I was concerned.
And I want to thank everyone for that. I still have to watch Friday's show. More shit I gotta watch. You know what I mean?
Hey, you said
I got so much stuff to watch.
And you're retired, so you can.
So hey, thanks for everyone watching Friday night show. I'm hoping, and I got a hint that maybe it'll be Turks showing the APK and that it was going to be ready.
Yes.
I hit the developer hit me up and said, "So we doing this Friday?" And then Turks hasn't hit me up to tell me that they are. So I will post it on the show notes or on the title of Friday's show if they agree. But Inside for Android said that he said this Friday. So we'll see. Hopefully that'd be great if we have that APK out, and we can he'll show the whole thing. He only showed parts of it on that one show. Again, thanks for everyone joining. Watch your movies and join the Telegram group. And thanks to everyone that's here.